All right. I think it should be on now. It looks like.
It should be live now, I think.
Yeah.
Is it showing up on your this thing?
I think
See,
I. What is that?
I don't know. I mean, from my end, it looks like
Yeah.
it's live.
Let's.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's make sure we get confirmation from. I've sent a message to a couple of people. See if they respond. If they can see us. Yep, I think we are live now. I got a confirmation. All right, let's go back to where we were. I think you were talking about the FCC Agni batting, talking about the opening partnership or the one down partnership between Tanmay and Justin. So
All right. Yeah, I think the Glads game, I think part of what I was saying is it was Shanawaz who took the game away. Aditya Aital played a fantastic innings. I think FCC Agni, if you ask me, they did everything right.
mhm.
97 or 96 is pretty good score. But when Shan is in that kind of blazing form, I think he can take the game away from you. I've been at the receiving end, Parthiv, when he used to play for TCA Stallions and Glad's played
Yeah,
Stallions. I thought we had put a good score, and then he came and just started blasting away, and there was nothing any skipper can do. So I can understand what Ramesh went through, but he was in just lights out form. 72 and 62 and 36 balls. I mean, that was a fantastic outing, and I thought Glads were playing baseball, Parthiv.
yeah,
Honestly, I thought they were playing baseball because
yeah. Definitely looked
it
like
was
he's in a hurry.
yeah,
Yeah,
or we should, yeah.
172.
So I can't say anything negative. I think we did quite well. I think Hardeep did a good job of captaincy too, because um, with Satya gone for an extended period of time,
Mhm.
he has to rally the troops and get everybody to buy in on the same page. But at least I
Right.
think he was able to get that in. We probably didn't have our best team or anything like that. But these are games where you just have to win and just move on, kind of a thing.
Right. And any reason why you guys elected to bowl in this particular game?
I have no idea. I have no idea if we even won the toss or if it is a glitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it
Because I
looks.
don't think this was. It says it doesn't even say it was done live scoring. You see,
Yeah. So I don't know whether
because you
this
can't.
was
I can't see the ball by ball details and things like that. And
right.
it says that unless it was scored on the mobile app, you can't
Ah,
do it
okay.
or
Yeah.
whatever it is, right?
Right.
So I'm not even sure if Glads won the toss. I'm sure if we had won the toss, we would have probably batted first. But
Hmm.
yeah, since I didn't see the game right from beginning, I have no clue.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next game. My next game was pretty interesting. I thought it would have been a little closer than how it actually unfolded. Hawks versus Thunders. The Thunders have been quite, I would say have been having a quiet season. Nothing spectacular, but nothing, no glitches so far. They've been kind of stream rolling things. They've lost only one game, I think, and they need to kind of get to the pretty much unharmed. In this case, I think Hawks, we've known Hawks, they've shown promise in bits and pieces over the season. They haven't been what they were showing before, like last season when they after beating GLCC. They're nowhere there yet. They haven't been able to match that performance, but I expected more than 51 runs. But in this case, the Thunders, they're missing their ace. They're missing their trump card, Manoj Singh. He's not there yet. I think he's coming back. Was it or the week after? But he was missing. But I think the return of Noguera, I think definitely has given that numbers coming into the last part of the season. So that'll be good news for Manoj. Manoj himself is the captain, so he'll be very happy with that. In his absence, I think Madhu is captain in this. So like for Dinesh and and Jalaj in the side, any captain would be very happy with. But all in all, I think it was a very comfortable win for the Thunders. Straight away, even though Bangera comes in after almost like 2 months, straight away he's in form. You see him coming in 30 of 22 balls with sixes, looked like he never was out of action. So clinical win for Thunders, and they are, at least my favorites to go into playoffs pretty easily and go all the way to the semis at least.
Parthiv, I think Bangera, I think again, as you rightly said, put his class on this game. Once again, not missing a beat. I mean, Indus should be very happy. But if you ask me, Parthiv, the litmus test is this week.
Yep.
Beating Hawks is one thing, and then beating KRCC is a totally different thing. It's like when you get into one ring, beating a flyweight boxer is different from beating Mike Tyson. And next up is Mike Tyson, and that is not going to be an easy game. And I'm not sure what our predictions were, but I won't be surprised if KRCC got the overwhelming majority of the votes.
Yep.
Because as good as Indus Thunders are, I think KRCC is the real litmus test. So we're going to see how good they do against it. But let me ask you a question. Hawks, they reached the playoffs, they reached the quarterfinals last year. This year, Naresh hasn't played a lot of games. Hawks have been trying to get to the 70s, 80s, 100 mark range. And, in this game, obviously 51 is not going to cut to this thing. At 2-5, they are sitting at the edge of a precipice, if you ask me. Because this week they have Miles, and already both Miles and Hawks are jockeying over the ground. Clearly, I think both teams understand how critical a game it is. I know that all of us have Miles blazing into the playoffs without a doubt. But I think if Hawks loses the Miles game, then the table's kind of they're pretty much out, or they'll have to run the table. Because if you ask me, they have Thunderbolts, Troy Hawks, Rising Stars, and Phantoms. Now, Phantoms, Rising Stars, and Thunderbolts, we can say, okay, you know what? Let's just give them the benefit of doubt, and they'll win it. But Troy Hawks is not that's a 50-50 game, or even a 40-60 game, for only 40% in their favor, considering how Troy Hawks have been playing. So I think they need to win somewhere. They need to pull some rabbit out of a hat somewhere. And this week against Miles is the place where they have to do it. I think they're a bunch of great guys, and they run a good ship. But now they'll need all hands on deck, if you ask me, Parthiv. That's how I see it for the Hawks.
I think the biggest disappointment it has been, I think he was on the show last time, but we weren't able to get a lot of out of him. But Vikram has been a pretty disappointing, has had a pretty disappointing season for Hawks. He was probably the guy who took them all the way to quarterfinals, his performances. But this year, his bat hasn't performed. So, that's one of the big reasons that Hawks is, at the bottom of this Pool A table.
Yeah, again, I think in this match, I think it was 2 overs, 16 runs. But guess what? He's bowling to Bangera, and Bangera is in blazing form. Guess what? I mean, even if you're one of the best bowlers in the league, you're probably going to have some trouble. But I'm looking forward to this game between Indus Thunders and KRCC, which is coming up. I'm pretty excited about it. Too bad we couldn't give it the showcase game of the week. I mean, it was in consideration, but I'll definitely have my eye on it. I would like to see what Indus Thunders are made up of. It will be the 2021 champs against the 2022 champs. But for the fact, there was a team which is undefeated. And if that team was sent undefeated, this game would have got SGOW status. For me, I voted for the Titans to get the SGOW status. And the only reason is simple. There is no other team in DCL which is undefeated. Titans is undefeated. If I can't respect them at that point of time for that undefeated status, then when in the world am I going to respect them? So I had to give them that SGOW, at least my vote. And I think the majority voted that way. But that doesn't make anything. that doesn't take anything away from the Indus versus KRCC game. That will be a cracker of a game.
Yeah, it is quite surprising that all the analysts have voted to KRCC. I think I didn't check Gabaji your vote, but I think it was 4-0 when I checked last time. I don't know which way you voted.
Yeah, I also supported KRCC.
Okay, so it's 5-0 then, KRCC. So although I think we are going by the recent form, but I think for Indus Thunders, my biggest worry or my biggest, my vote would go to them if I was assured that these guys are playing, like
Yeah.
Patel, Bagheera, Manoj, all of these, if they are all in, like if it was their final, I would go with Thunders any day.
Yeah, same goes with me, Parthiv, because I waited and took my own time before deciding this game because I wanted to understand what is the availability of Indus at this time. Because KRCC, I know KRCC will try to get best of it, right? We all know. But
Yep.
about Indus, we have a lot of uncertainty. They are not able to find their best playing 11 or 12 in any of the games so far. So I
Yep.
hope they will turn up and we'll have a good game Indus versus KRCC.
Yep.
Again, Parthiv and Gaba, I think a lot depends on the captain. All right, the ability to convince players to come and show up for the most important, crucial games.
Good point that you brought. I think Indus already have 3-4 captain in this season already.
Yeah, so that's that for me is a problem sign, right? We never had these issues when Gopu was the captain, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Gopu somehow manages to corral everybody in and get them in, and now we are having some problems. I don't think the question is on the talent. I think the question is on their availability more so, and I think that's where we are all kind of like sitting on the fence, trying to wonder which Indus team is going. And I know you were waiting till the last minute because you were waiting for your CIA sources to come and tell you who is playing and who is not playing. You see, that's the advantage which you have.
No, I think I know this. Manoj is back. I think in India, back from the India, so probably he will play, and probably Indus will have their regular keeper for this game. That I think that would be a good sign, based on at least what I understand from.
I think with Bagheera, I think with Bagheera playing and the left arm spinner playing last week, and then Manoj playing, I think if they can get Srikanth Pandeti playing, and if Srikanth can come in and Madhusudan Haveri can play, and a few other guys can come in and play, Rahul Shivpuje and Chetan can play, and they can send Chetan up the order instead of keeping him way down. I think then. Then again, I think it'll be a cracker of a game.
If somebody can confirm from the Indus Thunders all of this, what you just said, we will change our vote in a heartbeat.
So we'll have to see. But again, I think you're right on one side that KRCC will have a good team. They have a certain advantage which no other team has.
All right, let's go on to the next game. The next game was a pretty one-sided affair, SSK versus Cheetahs. Although I thought Cheetahs had an upper hand considering SSK's performance and my one-on-one with Linga, but both factors went towards voting for Cheetahs. But I think it was a very disappointing performance. I didn't expect SSK to score that many, 114. And then, once they had those many runs, Cheetahs, folded really fast, 39 only. And again, the number 39, there is something in the number 39 this season. I've seen this score so many times. Like if you go back and check the scorecards, a lot of teams have folded for 39. I don't know what it is this year, but there is something magical about 39 where people get all out on that number. But in this case, just going by the performances, Kalyana has been outstanding. I think he's the only guy in SSK who has, kind of shown some promise. This time around, he was supported well by Sachin, and that's why they were able to post that score. But if you look at Cheetahs, there wasn't anything. All single digits. When the highest scorer is the extras, it's a bad day. But credit should be given to SSK. I think both the skipper and Sai Prakash, everyone bowled a really disciplined line. If you look at the runs column, it's all single digits in those overs. So if that shows, it was very economical bowling from all of those guys. So I'm not going to go with you guys since we have too many games to cover. But all in all, I think it's a comprehensive win for
Oh,
us.
Parthiv, I have to say something,
Okay,
Parthiv, because
go ahead, go
this
ahead.
has
I know.
this has been this has been sitting with me for 2-3 weeks. You see, so if I don't say it now, I'll be in real this thing. I want to say before we go, Kalyan has been the absolute
Yep.
model of consistency. I looked up his scores: 17, 30 not out, 30, 33, 10, 35. He has an average of like 28 runs or something like that, 155 runs in 6 innings. That is fantastic by this thing. And if you ask me, he has been bowling well. He's been performing lights out. He is the lone bright spot in this SSK team. Now, Lingappan, we were supposed to have him on the show last week, I thought, and then he chickened out. So I'm going to call him a chicken for chickening out. But let me ask you this thing. So this is something which has been bothering me because when the DCL committee, and I'm going to dock the DCL committee, as well as I have something against our SSK friend Lingappan too. But here is the thing: you had the game on a Saturday afternoon, and the DCL committee moved it to Sunday afternoon to Saturday afternoon, and that's when Lingappan blew up and then said, "Well, the DCL committee is corrupt, and it's a corruption of the highest order and all that stuff." All right, you know what? I'll agree with with Lingappan's this thing that, hey, once you publish the schedule, you cannot change the schedule. If you ask me, I 100% agree with that, because you should have thought about it before you publish the schedule. But once you've published the schedule, don't tell me, hey, you have 4 days left, you have 5 days left, figure this out. Because let me ask you this: if Satish Gaba is going to India in 1 week's time, and then his employer comes and tells him, "Hey, Gaba, I can't let you go to India. I need you to go somewhere else," Gaba would not be too thrilled. And that's the same thing with Lingappan. His players might have made this thing. That's fine. But all we are saying is, once you publish a schedule, do not change it. Stick to that schedule. Now, having said that, Lingappan says, well, you can't change my game. All right. And since you guys have changed the game, you guys are absolutely corrupt. But my problem is here. Who changed the schedule? Now, Parthiv, Vijay Shanmugam already came out publicly and said that he did not request for a change in schedule. All right. So that tells me, okay, you don't have to be a genius to figure this out. That tells me that the only person in the committee who would have changed that schedule is Maulik Patel. Why? Because Maulik Patel has a game with Lingappan, all right? And so Maulik Patel probably finds that Sunday afternoon he has some other league somewhere to play, and he changed the schedule unilaterally. He should not have done it. If he did the wrong thing, let's call it wrong as wrong and say, you know what, Maulik? Sorry, you should not have done it. What you did was absolutely wrong. You have no business to change the DCL schedule. Now, once it has been scheduled, that's the game it is. But Lingappan's problem, here is the problem I have with Lingappan. Lingappan gets a call from Maulik Patel. And Maulik Patel is one of the best in the business. I have not seen anybody as good as Maulik Patel at buttering people, all right? If Maulik Patel wants to get something done, Maulik Patel will butter you so well that you would not know what is the difference between butter and cheese. In fact, you might have 2 slices of butter and 1 slice of bread in between, and that will be your sandwich. That Maulik Patel is that good at it. Now, Maulik Patel buttered our friend Lingappan, and guess what? Lingappan changed his schedule from Sunday afternoon to Saturday morning, of all times. Now, should I now be saying then that Lingappan is the most corrupt and the height of corruption? There is nothing more corrupt than Lingappan. Would that be fair? That's my problem. You can't go around and say somebody else is corrupt, but at the same time, when you do it, it's okay. Hey, I changed the schedule. It's okay. It worked in my favor. No problem. So my point is, when Lingappan changed the schedule from Sunday afternoon to Saturday morning, there is no difference between that and changing the schedule from Sunday afternoon to Saturday afternoon. In fact, I was waiting to ask Lingappan this question. If he came on this show, I was going to ask him, Lingappan, You please tell me what is the difference between changing from Sunday afternoon to Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon to Saturday morning. It's the same thing. If you're changing it, if one is corrupt, then the other is also corrupt. That means you are no better. So, before you call somebody else a snake, you better figure out if you are the snake. Well, I mean, that's the problem I have with Lingappan. I wanted to ask him this, and I would have asked him point blank. But since he chickened out and did not come, I'm going to say that, you know what, Lingappan, I'm sorry. You are equally corrupt. You are not. If you're going to call those guys corrupt, then you are also corrupt. Well, if those guys are not corrupt, then you are also not corrupt. And I think that's pretty much what I had to get off my chest. But
that's a good one. I think, yeah, for simplicity's sake, I don't think there was any corruption. I think we are all humans. We basically want to make it better. In some instances, things might have gone differently than what it appears. To be honest, I think, yes, you were bringing up Maulik's name, bringing up like he would have done it for his own convenience. To be honest, I mean, he plays so many league games. He can do it every week if he wishes to, right? I mean, if he wants to do it intentionally, he can do it every week. And secondly, the thing is, like, why would he want to do it against SSK, right? I mean, that game, I think he would have won even at half.
Parthiv, I think what happened is Maulik had a game on Sunday afternoon. That's what it is. All the games are on Saturday, right? Somehow this game got scheduled on Sunday afternoon. That would have affected Maulik some other game somewhere. If I had to bet, okay, I do not know if he had a game, but if I had to bet, I am willing to bet that was the conflict of interest. That is where the problem is. And I do not know Maulik's schedule, but I think that's.
But Vijay, not only SSK and Gujarat Lions game only did not move, right? It was all the games that has been scheduled on Sunday 2 p.m. has been.
Gaba, let me ask you a question. Did you go and request that City to move the game from Sunday afternoon to Saturday?
It was even if Vijay does something. It is not something Vijay do, right? It is committee does. So let me put this way.
But
it is not one person entity.
No, but
one person doesn't represent. If you ask me this, right, what we have discussed here, individually is not a committee. If you reach out to me one to one, I do not represent. Collectively will become a committee.
No, Gaba, please stop. Let me. Are you the grounds guy? Who schedules the ground?
When you say grounds guy,
I will tell you one thing. Even though I'm not a ground guy, I have gone to a couple of grounds and reach out to ground people based on committee, because I'm a part of committee. We collectively decide and we help each other. So it is not, even though I'm not a ground guy, I have been to the ground.
That is in procuring the ground. But once a ground is procured,
again, I'm not a ground guy, right? But still have been to the ground.
It's as simple as this, right? I live in Canton. I have access to the Canton grounds, Heritage Park and stuff. If I come to know the grounds are available for a weekend or whatever it is, my job is to inform the committee that these grounds are available. And as I had mentioned in my email, the committee is always looking to make sure that we get as many games on Saturday as possible. So whenever we get this opportunity, we want to make sure that the Sunday games are avoided. So that's essentially what it was. Eventually, I think if you look deeper, you might find, everyone finds some loopholes or something which could be interpreted. And in this case, it's just an interpretation. Just because one of the games was of a committee member, it just comes out that way that there was.
So Parthiv, here is the thing. There is a reason why if there is a case involving strikers, you are not part of the decision-making group, right? Because you have to eliminate the conflict of interest. So when Maulik has a game and he's the person playing that game, well, and if he goes and changes the schedule, you see where the conflict of interest comes into picture,
but
right?
I think you're assuming that he changed the schedule. He didn't change the schedule.
He did not change it.
Yeah,
it came to the committee, and committee collectively decided to move all Sunday games. It is not one person decision, Vijay bhai.
Yeah, it was not just one game that we moved. It was 4 games.
It wasn't one person decision.
I agree. 4 games got moved. Yeah. But what I'm saying is,
and again, I think I told you this before also. 6 captain, forget about the SSK and this SSK and Maulik. Maulik is one of the guys that you are asking. SSK opposed, and 6 captain happily accepted that. Why? Because we have already got multiple requests. Why committee has acted on that way? because we have already got multiple requests on many weeks
Gaba,
wherever we had to send the game.
Gaba, do
Allow
you
me 30
agree on
seconds,
one?
Vijay.
No, Gaba, do you agree that once a schedule is published, you shouldn't change the schedule? I mean, let me ask you. I gave you a practical example. You booked a flight ticket to India, and if your employer came and changed your schedule and say you can't go to India, you suffer the loss, right? You
But
wouldn't be too happy, right?
Okay, Vijay, let me put it. What if I was requesting for the change from some time for a specific thing? I wanted to travel Air India only, and I was keep on getting Emirates. And all of a sudden, when my employer think that I'm a frequent traveler, when my employer think that this is the opportunity that I can allow Satish to travel on Air India, let him give a Air India ticket. They did it.
I didn't even understand that.
You are
logic.
asking about this. You are giving me this flying example the same way, because the committee was getting a lot of requests to move their game from Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon.
Gaba, you're in a position of power. When you're in a position of power, guess what? You have to take extra precaution to make sure that there is no conflict of interest.
Yes.
When your team is
I agree. This is the point I agree that we should have taken extra precaution.
When your team is involved, and when your own team is involved, you have to take extra this thing to separate yourself from that decision making this thing and say, hey, committee members, teams are involved. So you know what? People are going to look at it more closely. So you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, let's just make it this thing that I think you guys will solve yourself a lot of heartache. If once you publish the schedule, don't change the schedule. If both teams agree and want to go and play, then you guys are on the hook, right?
As I mentioned, we are learning as we speak. There were a couple of instances. This is one. I think the other instance happened towards the early part of the season, where we had called off a game because of potential rain forecast or potential bad weather, and eventually the weather improved, and we were all kind of made to look like fools, because we made an earlier call to save people the time and effort to go to the ground. Now, from then on, we decided, no matter what, the teams have to go to the ground and assess and basically make the calls. So we've learned lessons the hard way, trying to be.
Parthiv, all I'm going to say is, I'm going to agree with you on this one thing, that there was no corruption. So when something like that is thrown around, I mean, that is a serious allegation. And if he's going to allege corruption on you guys, then my question to him is, hey, you also changed the game. Should I now be calling you corrupt? If it is good for you, then it has to be good for the other person too. We cannot have different rules for different people. That's all I'm saying. I personally think there was no corruption and all. You know what? People made some decisions and things like that. Whatever happened, to throw the corruption word is a little wrong, is what I feel. But anyway, let's move on. Bulls versus Dynamites.
Yes, Bulls versus Dynamites. I'm sure Gabaji is waiting for this game. So, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to go straight to Gabaji. Gabaji, clinical win for you, old-time rivals or buddies?
No, it's not. It's a Bull, Parthiv bhai. Not.
Oh, it's Bulls. Sorry. I always, whenever Dynamite comes,
I think the Viju bhai's long words has got you into your mind. You have got brain freeze.
I was almost conceiving as soon as I saw Detroit and Dynamite. I was already in that.
We have passed that. You are right, but you are actually behind 4 or 5 weeks.
Parthiv, you know who is the guy who is most upset that the show did not take last week? It'll be the Dynamite skipper Vijay Shanmugam, because he had achieved a magnificent victory against the Raptors, and the show got cancelled. And there, with that goes all the highlights of that show. And instead, we come to this game and we have nothing good to say about Dynamites.
There was Vijay, and then I think Javed Bhai, he met me on the ground also, and he was also disappointed. We beat KRCC, and you guys didn't even talk about it.
No, but we will talk about it right now. This is this week game.
This week game? Oh, I thought it was last week. Okay, then
what happened to you?
I'm telling you, this corruption business is sitting in Parthiv's head and playing a number on him. All right, Parthiv, it's okay. You got me to say that there is no corruption. All right, so go with it. There is no corruption.
I think it was 2-3 upset last week. One of those was GLCC versus Strangers. So I think,
Stingers, yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's go to this game quickly. Detroit Bulls Dynamites.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think
Again,
I'm just going to say before I hand it over to you guys, Detroit Bulls is definitely one of the teams that I look forward to now. I was skeptical at the start, but with all the they've lost a couple of really good players, but now I think the team is really gelling under Watson, and with the veterans like Gino and others who are also contributing. But it definitely looks like a team that can go a long way. I think they've always been a quarterfinal team, but this might be the year they go all the way to semis at least. What do you
yeah.
guys, Gabaji?
Yeah.
What do you?
So yeah, you are rightly pointed. I think Detroit. I think in this particular prediction we were splitted, and I supported Detroit Bulls because I played against them. Even though we won against them, but I was impressed with the way they were conducting themselves. So I picked the Detroit Bulls. Uh, in this particular game, Dynamite won the toss, and surprisingly, they decided to bowl. At least the scorecard says so. Okay,
Hmm.
and I do not understand why Detroit Bulls bowling is exceptional. Okay, if somebody is not reading Detroit Bulls properly or has read the Detroit Bulls properly before the playing game, they would have understand their bowling is very strong, and why somebody will give an opportunity to defend the score. When they have good bowling. Detroit Bulls got 66 runs and they had the bowling. Even though when we were playing and following the score, when we were talking, I mentioned that Detroit Bulls has that kind of bowling which can defend the 66 against Dynamite batting, and exactly they did the same. Detroit Bulls. Only one thing that I want to mention, Parthibai, they are good, but I think they have to fix their lower middle order. I think last week when we played against them and when we talked about this game, I think I think I did mention about this that their lower middle order is a problem.
Yep.
In this particular game, same thing has happened where their top order performed, where Nikhil 24 and Sanka 17 and they scored, I think, almost 40 odd run, 40-50 run partnership they did it. But after that, nobody supported other than that Vikas. He's a left-handed guy and he bat also really good. Against us also, he did a good batting. But after
Yep.
that, if you see a lot of zeros in the lower middle order. Same thing has happened against us also. When they were chasing and then we got them at their lower middle order in no time. Dynamite should have also gone with the same approach after winning the toss. They would have got 70-80 runs, and Detroit Bulls know that they have weak lower middle order. They would have tried to create the same scenario where getting the first few wickets out, like 3-4 wickets out, and after that there is no one. But unfortunately, Dynamite, whatever the strategy they made, they decided to bowl first.
Yeah,
So
I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised as that as well. And I think one of the big reasons Dynamites has been doing well is Murugan Vishwanathan, right? And in this game, I don't know why he didn't bowl, but he didn't contribute with the bat either. So that was a big miss there for Dynamites. That
yeah,
made a huge difference.
that's right. Yeah, one
But,
thing that
but
we need to appreciate about Dynamite that they only gave two extras, so that is really good. Just two extras, it's very good. And the bowling side, I think Rajkumar, I think they introduced him from last two games, and he picked up 4 wickets and good supported by Adnan. I think he's also new addition, 2 wickets, and Kushar, I think, is regularly bowling 2 wickets there as well. When the Dynamite started batting, I think they did not have any support. So their wicket were falling. Only one person, Vankar, was in double digit, and no one was in double digit, and hence they were not able to chase this 66 run. Ideally, the way the pitch was behaving and all, 51, 56, 66 run, they should have got that. So and I think from Bulls bowling side, I think Rathod has picked up 3 wickets, and Vatsal, I think their captain is bowling really good, giving just 9 runs in 5 overs and picking up 2 wickets, and Nikhil Sani also picking up 2 wickets in 10 runs. So overall, I think it was a great win for the Detroit Bulls after losing a close game against us. Winning this game will get them on the track again. I think they didn't only one game out of 7 losing. I think they are still good, doing great. Dynamite after winning Raptor, they have boosted up their confidence, they have boosted up their chances, and this was the game where they probably would have won. They would have been very comfortable to go through the playoff. Now because Dynamite, if I'm not wrong, Dynamite is having a lot of good games now. I think they will be playing GLCC. I think they have 3 games, and all 3 games are a little competitive in that aspect. if I'm not. Can you quickly check? I did
Yeah,
check.
no, I think Dhairya, they
Yeah,
have Dhairya and Marvel. So I think a couple of games should be easy. Yeah,
yeah.
GLCC one should be a tough one, but the other two games they should be able
But
to.
the way standing is happening, right? They have to beat
Yeah,
GLCC to be comfortable in top five.
correct. And then they have Raptors breeding now and neck also. So
Right.
Raptors and Sterling Strikers, all those are potentials.
Yeah, but don't you think if they win 2 more games, they are in the
Yeah, they should
playoffs?
be too. Yeah.
Because 8 wins will get you into the playoffs, Gabaji.
But see, right, Sterling Striker just played 7 games, right? FCC is
I
just behind them with the 7 games, right? 5 games. And Raptors, they played 6 games. So Pool C, we have played less games. And why I'm still saying 8 games might not get it, because the lower teams are not winning any games, Viju bhai. These 7 teams are winning all the games.
Well, Raptors still have Sterling Strikers to play. So
They have to play us also.
yeah, they have quite a
They
few
have
games.
to play Detroit Bulls as well. So
think
it's
on
not
this
gonna
game,
be.
Parthiv, I want to throw out this thing to Nikhil Sunny. I mean, I saw him bat the other day. I mean, very aggressive batsman.
Yep.
I think his batting has improved leaps and bound. He's top shelf right now, Parthiv. I mean, he's doing a fantastic job at the start, and I think the Bulls are in the playoffs. Is that fair to say? I mean, for me, the Bulls are safely in. It's a question as how high is their seeding going to be? That's the only thing which needs this thing. And I think they have FCC, Guardians, Sterling Strikers, and Raptors. 3 out of those 4 games, at the current form, you can give it to Bulls. And Raptors depends upon which Raptors team shows up, So, but I think you identified it. I think Vatsal has done a phenomenal job with this team this year. From last year to this year, their performance has been lights out despite losing top-notch talent. But having said this, Parthiv, we're going to come with the rankings.
Yep.
And this loss, this loss to Dynamite's loss to Bulls, Dynamites is the team which dropped the most in the rankings from last week's rankings to this week's rankings. And when we get there, guess who is the number one culprit for the Dynamites dropping their ranking so much?
You mean amongst us?
Yes.
Don't tell me it's me, Viju bhai.
It's the great Parthiv Mehta.
Yeah, I can.
Gabaji, I don't get it. He dropped them 10 spots. But you like the Bulls. Bulls is a higher ranked team.
To my defense, I'll say last week I had given them a higher ranking because they were fresh out of the upset win over Raptors. They didn't deserve that ranking in the first place.
Vijay is listening. Vijay is listening.
You know what? Vijay Shanmugam was already at the bottom of the Detroit River after losing this game. And now you have made him to go to Paralok, or I don't know what, to the middle of the earth with this statement. When we get to the ranking, I'm going to ask you to justify how you could have dropped them 10 spots, because I dropped them from 14 to 16. I dropped them only 2 spots because, as far as I was concerned, Bulls was a very good team, and losing to Bulls, it's okay. But you dropped them 10 spots, and I couldn't believe it. And I was wondering, how in the world did Dynamites lose 5 spots? You see,
Well,
and then I saw who is the culprit. It is Vijay Shanmugam's best friend Parthiv Mehta who is the culprit.
I'm already getting text from Vijay. See you on the ground, buddy.
Oh, you didn't get it?
Parthiv, when? Next season?
No, this season itself. I mean, I'm sure Dynamites has always been our bunny on the back. They have always somehow been able to beat us.
No, I'm talking about striker.
Oh,
Forget about Dynamite. Viju, my right question, right?
Yeah.
You will see them on the playoff. Chances for striker is also very bloom.
Yeah. We are still in that spot, but we'll come there. Let's move on. And basically, when we talk about the the rankings. I think it's going to be interesting to see how we've kind of assessed it, because I think everybody has a different way of how they see it.
Yeah,
Anyways,
and
let's
that's
go to
why
the next.
that
Yeah,
that's why the average makes more sense.
yeah. All right, let's go to the next game. I think this was another game, clash between the bottom teams, Local Boys and Motor City, both Pool B teams who have been towards the end of the table. And those matches are always interesting. And this, I think, I mean, the scorecard shows that it was pretty interesting. Local Boys with 67. Local Boys have been kind of on and off. They've been able to perform, some really great in a couple of matches. They beat us. They did give a couple of scares to other teams as well, but haven't been able to like keep it consistent. On the other hand, Motor City, I don't think they have been able to put up any show at all. So it wasn't surprising that Local Boys uh, were between Local Boys and Motor City. It wasn't surprising that this went close, but eventually I think Local Boys lost the steam, and Motor City deserved this win, because after a long time they've been trying, but finally the batting did come through, especially towards the end, where you see Bhargav and Dinesh at the top, and then Sujay all contributing. So it was quite a refreshing win for Motor City. I think they will be very, very happy with getting some points in the kitty. You guys want to add something here for the Motor City guys? Give
No,
them.
I think Motor City had a fantastic win. Again, Gabaji, aren't these two teams kind of related? They kind of split off from each other. They were all playing together once upon a time. Again, I think Parthiv Srinivas Elimalai fails, Local Boys have trouble,
Yep.
right? And I think in this game, Elimalai failed, and sure enough, Local Boys didn't do anything much. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the rest of the games. But I think it was a fantastic win for Motor City, and I think for that reason, Motor City got a bump up of 3 spots in the rankings. But
Yep.
they were one of the teams which benefited, or the highest move up in the rankings. So positive was Motor City, and thanks to this win. So congrats to Motor City and hard luck Local Boys. But I think Local Boys, by losing this game, pretty much wrote themselves out of the playoffs.
Yep. All right. I see Aakash join. See him on the camera, but I think if you're listening, Aakash, thank you for joining. Be with us. We'll come to you very soon after we finish analyzing these games. Next game, I think Gujarat Lions versus Cover Drive. This was supposed to be a very easy game, and it turned out to be
No,
interesting. I
Parthi,
would say.
that wasn't the case. If you
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
me,
yeah. It wasn't the case. That's what I was getting at. I mean, if you look at on paper, you would have thought, Lions are just going to romp through. But Gujarat Lions did have a big scare towards the top. I mean, with Cover Drive were really, bowling well. And I don't know whether it was this case of Gujarat Lions taking it lightly, but at one stage they were 7 for 32. And then Vishal Patel, and I've seen him. He's kind of a character. If he decides to stick it out there, and he did this time, and he played innings of a lifetime. I would say, saving those 5 points for Maulik. I mean, this would be an embarrassing defeat, and something even though I obviously I support Gujarat Lions, but it would have been beneficial to us. If Cover Drive would have created this kind of a miracle, we would have been in a very, very good spot to have get a chance to go to the playoffs. But all in all, I think Gujarat Lions pulled it back just enough in time to make sure it was a comfortable victory. Once they scored 91, I knew that they had enough firepower to kind of stop Cover Drive. Anything you guys want to add, Satish?
yeah, I think I already mentioned this to Malik also. He should, even though it's easy game, right? There are certain things that he should not change about, like couple of, like Ronak is not, and he's down batting. When he's batting first, he should go for a big. I know you always mention, right, captain responsibility, giving chances to other, but not at the cost of the game. So ideally, Malik should not, even for the easy game going forward, he should not disturb his down and Ronak's down.
Right.
He
Yeah,
should,
and giving Ronnie Patel an opening. I'm
but
sure he's going to be thrilled.
Ronnie Patel can bat. But what I'm saying, like Malik, if Ronnie Patel is going first down, Malik is also coming second and third down. It still makes sense, but not the down that he's batting.
Yeah.
And I think I did mention it to him, and we did mention it to him for the different tournament as well. But yeah, that has costed, because I know when Malik thought he may go and do something, but this pitch can do anything. I don't know how he has got out, but one good ball can destroy the whole game. Exactly the same thing has happened when Malik got out. They would have got the nervous, and thanks to Vishal, I know Vishal Bhai could not the 40 balls, playing for 40 balls himself without hitting a six. He himself has achieved, because he is a hitter. He always tried to hit from the very first ball. How he has played that 40 ball with the patience, I don't know what was going between talk between Malik and Vishal on the ground. I would have loved to watch. But yeah, kudos to Vishal, who has got them 5 points. Otherwise, Gujarat Lions would have packed the bag for the whole season.
Yep.
Oh, that's a very big statement, Gababai, to say that they would have packed it for the whole season.
Look,
I
losing
mean, I
against
don't
Cover
know.
Tribe, and you are in a very tough pool. How you would have make it to
Yeah,
the playoff, Viju bhai?
yeah, but they are in second spot right now in the standings.
Let's
I mean,
go
I
with
don't think. I mean, I don't think it would have been pack up, but I think definitely it would have boosted some of the other teams'
No,
chances.
I think it would have been very tough if you ask me.
No, I think they're still
Oh,
comfortable. I think they just need
I,
one or
th-
two games.
I think Gujarat Lions are in a pretty good shape. I mean,
Yeah,
even if they had lost this game, they would have made it through. But I mean, I think if they had lost this game, what would have happened is people like strikers would have got a fresh lease of life. That's
yeah,
exactly what would
If
have
they would
happened.
have lost this game, they would have been sitting on position 7. That too, playing one additional game. Okay. They are in
Yeah,
29
but
points. If they would have lost this, they would have been on 24 and 25. They would have been on the position 7th. Okay. And now, if you see, they would have already played 8 games, and now they have 4 games, including Glads. Let me go there. Okay. It's not the cakewalk.
yeah.
That's
They have
what I think.
Labs, Motor City,
no,
local.
it's a cakewalk, pretty much for them.
Glads, Hitman, they have to play two important games. So that's what this game losing, it would have been very tough for them to make to playoff. But I'm happy for them that they got this 5 point and they are into the
Okay.
race.
Well, I think the magic formula is 36 points, right? Which you keep saying 36 points. Once you get
I
36,
think
Uh,
this
uh,
time it should be 40, because we are playing one additional game. So consider it 40 points.
okay.
In all the previous years, we used to play 11 games, right? Now we are having 12 games in this season, right? 12 league games.
Yep. All
no,
right.
no,
Let's
11 was only last week, but anyway, that's okay. Let's go on.
All right, the next game we have is Detroit Titans and Dhairya. I think Satish bhai, this is all yours. Your clinical performance. I'm sure a lot of your batsmen will be very happy.
No, it is not. Again, I think the scorecard, if you see closely, if you see, we did not had a good start. We had a habit to not give a good start to the team, and with no time, 4 were down. I think the way Dhairya bowled, moreover the way we played, like 4 wickets down for just 13 run. Okay, so we did not had an ideal start in this game as well. But the way Vihar is one of our important player in the middle order, and he himself took the whole batting on his shoulder along with the Prasad, and they both scored the partnership of almost 90 odd runs. They did the partnership and got us into the game. So kudos, I think. Bihar missed 50 by 2 runs, and he was very disappointed with that. Actually, the whole team was very disappointed with that 2 runs. He got stumped, and we wanted him to complete his 50 on that occasion. And Prasad also was like fabulous that day. He scored 33 runs, and he was very much the way he was playing. It was actually give us a lot of confidence that in the middle order we have a batsman who can actually play this many balls and can score as well. And after that, when they have got the platform side, Abhishek, Anil, Rupesh, all they came, and the way they have tendency to hit those big boundaries. Anil hit those 3 sixes, Rupesh hit those two sixes in the first 2 ball itself. So those 5, and Abhishek also hitting 1 6. So those 6 6 6 came in the no time, like 3 4 overs. We got those 6 sixes, which got us in 150 odd total. And once we have 150 odd total on the board, we were very, very comfortable. And actually, we wanted to close this game before 12. So 12.3 over marks, because I do not want to play this game again. From the bowling side, Dhairya, Sachin was very phenomenal. I have played with him, along with him, and opposite also, Sachin was bowling really good, even though the score looked 26, but the first couple of overs he has actually troubled us. First two, 3 overs. But later on in the later spell when he got into Anil and Rupesh and he got those runs actually. And Roshan also picking up 3 wickets. From our side, when we had that 153, 155 run on board, we had Parag. So Parag again picking up those 3 wickets and again running into the highest wicket taking bowler in this league at this point. Miles actually he has like first position after 5, 6 wicket lead he has, I believe, if I'm not wrong. And
Yep.
all other bowler also supporting Parag and the team really good and picking up couple of wickets here and there. So I think it was a good performance overall. But I think again, as a Titans team, we still have to work on our top order, where top order can perform and score some points for us.
So, question to you, Viju: do you think Titans is going to top the group?
Do I think Titans is going to top the group? They probably might top the group. Depends upon what they do with GLCC this week. But Parthiv, let me tell you where I have a problem with Titans. The problem I have with Titans is it is Parag Karwade, Parag Karwade, Parag Karwade.
Yep.
If you take Parag Karwade out of the equation, then the question is who in the Titans is going to show up. When I look at their 7 games which they have played, which they have won all 7 of them, Parag Karwade was the man of the match 4 times, Gaba was the man of the match 2 times, and Vihar Vaidya was the man of the match last game. But it is Parag Karwade who is single-handedly keeping them in the game after game after game. He is the highest wicket taker. If you ask me, Parag Karwade is the Michael Jordan of Detroit Titans. In fact, Parthiv, I see a name change happening in the team. The team's name is changing from Detroit Titans because we already know what happened to the Titan. It went into the Challenger Deep and it never came back. So guess what? The Titans are going to be renamed Karwades because it is Parag Karwade's show. It is Karwade who is taking over the game. He's carrying them on the back. Detroit Bulls went against Titans. I forgot to tell Gino, James and company, guys, play out Parag Karwade and take on the remaining 4 bowlers. Anybody playing Detroit Titans, that's exactly what they need to do. You know what? Respect Parag. Let's see him off. Let's not give him any wickets. Now, the rest of you 4 guys, you show me what you have. That's the strategy you should be having. Because when that guy is performing lights out, why are we walking into that trap? Let's take him out of the equation. Partha, when we played against Stars, well, guess what? We were not going to let Deepak Giriyappa run all over us. So we were going to,
Well, Aakash is listening, and you've already given the mantra. You've already given
the mantra is he doesn't need me to help him out. Anybody looking at the Titans will say that, you know what? Let us make somebody else beat us. Parthiv, they used to have something called the Jordan rules. The Detroit Pistons used to be the number 1 team against the Bulls. And Chuck Daly came out with something called the Jordan rules. Let anybody else beat us, but not Jordan. Simple as that. And if you ask me, you need to do that because otherwise we'll have to change this Titans name to Karwades unless Mr. Gaba and company, others say, you know what, we are going to help Parag out because let's put it this way. Parag has been having a phenomenal season. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Titan. Didn't Karwade did not play last year, right?
Yeah, Parag was in India from last 3 years.
Yeah, so he came just this year.
Mm-hmm.
So now look at the last year's record and this year's record, and these guys are 7-0. Parag Karwade is the number 1 reason. Let's give him the credit for what he has done. It is a phenomenal job. He's a fantastic bowler. Now, if you're playing the Titans, make sure he doesn't beat you. That's it.
Let's save a little bit for when he's on the show. I'm sure we can tell him directly, what a fantastic performance he's done so far and how he's carried the team. So we'll save that for when he's on the show. All right, let's go to the next game. We're going to go to Phantoms Thunderbolts. Again, one-sided game. If anybody wants to chime in here, but I'm just going to walk through it. This was a game which I think we all kind of wanted Phantoms to show up and give it a good run for the money for Thunderbolts. But eventually, I think Phantoms are still probably a level far from where they need to be to compete and give other teams some really tough time. They have done a couple of good performances. I remember Krishna had a phenomenal innings in one of the games, which got them close or got them a good total, but it hasn't been consistent. In this case, also just 51 runs, and then Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts has a pretty good team, and they've been playing for quite a while. So the likes of Vinod and Deepak, they perform quite consistently. And in this case, also, with the ball, it was Deepak and Vinod who were consistent again with the line length and not giving away anything, which eventually obviously results in wickets from the other side. And then coming to the batting, I think they once they had 50 runs unscored on board to chase, all that they needed to do was bat sensibly, and I think that's what they did. Amanjot Singh with 21, Riaz and Mithilesh, contributing double digits. All in all, I think a smooth and easy victory, and I'm sure will be very happy to get those 5 points in the bag. I mean, they scored at a pretty brisk rate also. I mean, 8 overs, 57. So they finished the match before Phantoms realized it, what would come back in the game.
Yeah, Parthiv, if you ask me, what I'm surprised about is the amount of talent which Thunderbolts has. I think they are vastly underperforming that talent.
Yep.
And so Vinod needs to go and wonder what he's doing wrong, because you know what? They have a lot of talent. If you had asked me which one of these teams I would take at the bottom end, I would take Thunderbolts for the kind of talent which they have. But I just feel that their record is not matching their talent.
Right.
And I think the captains needs to look and see what's going wrong and figure out what he can do to right the ship, because they have a good bowling attack. Devraj is an excellent bowler. Their Deepak Bhaskaran is an excellent bowler. These guys can bowl lights out, and that Mithilesh is a fantastic batsman. If he gets going, it's going to be lights out. So they have some very good batting, but somehow their performance has not matched up to the kind of talent which they have. But fantastic win for them.
Yep. And I think one of the things that they can do, I mean, yes, their playoffs are, I mean, chances are pretty much over, I would say, but I think they have a few games which they can really give others a run for money. They have fighters, they have uh, rising stars. I think they have Troy Hawks also in their lineup of games. So I think those games they can easily make it hard for the teams. Oh, they have Hawks, not Hawks, and Troy Hawks. They have Hawks in the waiting. So these games, I don't think anybody can take them lightly. I mean, they can cause an upset which might topple the table altogether. All right, let me go to the next game. Wait, hold on, I'm on third card, which I think everybody was really watching it closely. I know we were all the five analysts and we were talking about it, and whenever a defending champion is on the verge of getting defeated, everybody wants the underdog to win, and that was the case in the case of Canton Hurricanes and KRCC. Yes, KRCC have been great. They deserve the champions tag, but Canton Hurricanes were outstanding. I mean, once they got out for 67, I was like, this is another KRCC game. They're going to just walk past it. Hemant and some of the big hitters that they have, they're just going to cruise control and finish it in 10 to 12 overs. But credit should be given to Canton Hurricanes. They have been outstanding this season. Javed Bhai obviously built this team, and now with others taking over, I think he's basically built some steel into Canton Hurricanes. I think they were always good, but they were not able to win games consistently. This season, what I find it different is Adarsh has somehow found that magical formula to convert these close games into wins. So even this game, I think when I was watching, Canton Hurricanes were on the verge of giving it up. I mean, the last partnership between Omkar and Yogesh almost felt like they were going to just snatch it again from Canton Hurricanes. But eventually they got the wicket, which mattered, and that 5-run defeat is definitely one that Canton Hurricanes, I'm sure, must be overjoyed and celebrating all weekend. Satish Bhai, what do you have to say? What do you see
So I think
happens?
you covered it really good. I want to mention a couple of things about Ramji. I think he bowled fabulous with those 3 wickets. Then scoring that 9 run along with others 19 run, that is actually got them 66. And the third thing, because I talked to Canton, we did not watch because they did not stream it. I actually met a couple of folks from the Canton team, and they were very high and appreciative about the Ramji's effort. He was full on energy with the ball, bat, and as well as with the field. I think whoever I met, I think I met 3 4 people. Others I met, Amit I met, Ramji I met, and a couple of Javed Bhai I met. Everybody was talking about the run out which Ramji has got only run out, right? They were saying the fabulous effort on the field which got Oni out from the Ramji. So let's give all the credit to Ramji, and I think we have him uh, what player of the week, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. He's the game changer of the week,
Game
and
he
there
changer
is
of
is
the
a
week.
player of
reason,
the week.
Babaji. He took 3 important wickets, and then
Exactly.
the all-important Tamim Moni. I mean, I think it was a unanimous decision among all of us to give
Mhm.
Mohammad Ramzi the game changer of the week. But let's give credit to Adarsh. It was amazing Nair. I think now it is awesome, amazing Adarsh, triple A, right? I mean, he is doing a fantastic job leading this team. But let's give credit to Javed Bhai, because he identified the right man and said, I want you to lead the team, or he handed it over to Hari, and Hari handed it over to Adarsh, whichever way it happened. Uh, let's give the management their credit for identifying the right talent and saying, you know what, you lead the team and take us to the promised land. And so these guys have been doing a fabulous job. Nobody in their right mind would have predicted KRCC will lose this game. But I think Mohammad Ramsey just took it upon himself. I mean, he performed with the ball, he performed with the bat, and then the all important run out. I mean, that Tamim Momi run out doesn't happen, they don't win this game. So, you know how Tamim Moni can take over a game. And I think Ramsey rightfully is the game changer of the week, without a doubt. There's nobody even within a mile close to him. It is that outstanding in a performance. So I've been this year, we felt that Ramsey was not performing as much as he was performing maybe last year when he was in the lead of the wickets taken. But this game, he put on a show. He put on a show for the ages. And let's give him all the credit for that. But fantastic job by Adarsh, to come and motivate his team to take on this defending champions and take them out. I don't think any of us saw it coming. But when this happens, you have to give the credit, all the credit to the guys who got it done. And these two guys simply got it done. But obviously, they had help from others. But nevertheless, all credit to Canton
And one
Hurricanes.
thing,
Let me ask you this: with this, is Canton Hurricanes in the playoffs?
oh, absolutely,
Okay,
110%.
okay, good.
Canton Hurricane beating Fighter, Canton Hurricane beating MCC Miles, Canton Hurricane beating KRCC. So they already made a statement for this season.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they made a fantastic this thing, and well, when we see the rankings, also we'll see that they climbed up the rankings 3 spots.
Yep.
Yep. I had a question for you guys. When I was looking at the scorecard for KRCC, they tried like 10, I don't know how many bowlers this is, 3 and 3, 6, and 9 bowlers out of the 12. I don't know what.
Parthiv, I think they took the game too lightly. They must have thought that they had this game in the bag.
Oh,
Exactly.
if
how,
that's the
how else
case,
how else would you explain it?
yeah,
Because they
that
would have
doesn't make
thought, you know
sense at
what,
all.
60 runs is like a walk in the park. Oni can score that in his sleep. They probably thought that this is overconfidence which did them in.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
that is really. I mean, I feel like the champions should have known better. Canton Hurricanes is nowhere near a team that you would even should be considering taking it lightly. I mean, they have been performing, as Gabaji mentioned, they've been performing really well throughout the season, and they've been close. Like one game, they were really close to winning it, which they should have, and they lost it. But they've been performing really well in and out throughout the season. So using the likes of Yogesh Mittal to bowl and Arya, when you have like I can see 6 bowlers who are regular, in this line.
Parthiv, if I played on KRCC, I also would have been bowling. This is exactly what they were doing out there, my friend. These guys were just experimenting. You want to bowl? Go bowl. No problem, man. Let us give them some runs. We want some runs on the board. This is exactly the mindset which made them lose this game.
Well,
let's call it for what it is. All right.
Yes,
Overconfidence cost them this game. All right. But all credit to Canton Hurricanes.
Yep. If you see the points table, I think you will see Canton Hurricanes is now number 4 with that win. So they are closing in and making it life very difficult now for Red Devils and Fighters. I think one slip up here. I mean, Fighters had 2 ties, which doesn't help them. So any slip up here in 5, 6, and 7 is really going to be very, very devastating. And Canton Hurricanes is just making sure that they are in the playoffs.
I'm sure the most disappointed people were the Fighters and Troy Hawks when they saw Canton Hurricanes win that game.
But one good thing about the Group A, based on whatever I observe for the remaining game, they all are playing to each other. Red Devil is playing Canton Hurricane. Canton Hurricane is playing Troy Hawks. Troy Hawks is playing Fighters. Red Devil, something like that. So those four spot teams, they all are playing at least 2-3 games each other.
Yeah. So in a way, they have their destiny in their hands.
Yeah, that's true.
They have their destiny in the hands. But here is my point. Red Devils plays Canton Hurricanes. I can see every Tom, Dick, and Harry on this analyst group going and picking Red Devils, saying, "Oh, they have so much talent." All right, Gaba is laughing because he knows that's what he's going to do. Parthiv is laughing, but guess what? Canton Hurricanes is saying, "You analysts, watch and wait and see. We are going to prove you guys wrong." That's exactly what they're doing. I mean, I have absolute respect for what the Canton Hurricanes have done this season.
All right. With that, I think we are done for the games that were completed. There were a couple of games that didn't get done. The one Dark Horses were Sterling Strikers that started but got interrupted by rain. And then Stingers and Marvels too. That is an interrupted game as well. Even though the scorecard says Stingers won by 84 runs, that's not true. That game is going to be rescheduled.
That needs to be corrected. Yeah, we need to delete these 2 scorecards.
Yep. So now we are going to go into. Do we want to start off with the rankings before we go into predictions?
Yeah,
I think let's talk about the ranking because Parag might be joining at 9:30, so we can cover that and then we can talk about them and then go for prediction.
Okay. So I will share. I should have brought this up.
Maybe meanwhile, Parthiv is
what happened to our friend? What happened to our friend KK? He has been taking a little too many vacations, I feel.
No,
at this point, can we even call him an analyst? I mean, he's more like a guest analyst. It's just the 3 of us running the show.
He's here now.
I'm here.
Oh, he's here. Oh,
he was waiting for you to call him.
When you were doing all praises, when you were all praises for Canton Hurricanes, I was here.
Okay.
He was listening, waiting for his opportunity to retort back.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I have brought up the current ranking, which you can see.
I can't see it, Parthiv.
No, it is not showing up. We can still see the.
Maybe I'm okay. Wait, I think I'm just sharing the scoreboard.
How come KK by no game today?
It's done.
Oh, you came and you played something today also?
Yes.
Did you guys win?
Yes.
Okay, good. Who did
That's
you guys
the main
play?
Part. It's a Friends Cup. It's another tournament, Friends Cricket League. So that's where
now we're going to introduce a plastic ball league also. And people are going to still be playing on that.
Parthiv, is there a way for you to make this bigger? It's tough
Zoom
to
in,
see it.
Parthiv bhai.
Oh, okay, wait.
And do we need that comment?
Let me tell you something, right? Let's hide those columns B through D.
Yeah, exactly. Hide B through E, I guess.
Yes, B through E.
Where is it? Yeah. Okay.
Now you can.
So, all right. So,
let me tell you something else, right? Make that last pole master a little smaller, and these rows will adjust the length. Yep.
No, it'll become bigger, right? It'll be more scrolling.
Or
Wait,
you can zoom in, right? Now you can zoom in and we can read through the comments in case you want to.
I am like 125% zoom in. How is it now?
That's pretty good.
Okay, let's do that. All
Yeah,
right.
so basically, Parthav, the thing is that let me explain how this ranking works. Each one of the five analysts, well, this week it is only four analysts because Satya is in India and Satya didn't put it his rankings. But the way it works is all five of us gets to rank all 39 teams. We rank each of the 39 teams independently of the other person, and then we combine the rankings and average it out, and then you divide 100 divided by the average ranking, the weighted average ranking, you get the total number of points. Whoever has the maximum number of points will end up at number one, and whoever has the least number of points will end up at number 39. As you can see, Detroit Titans was 2 last week thanks to their undefeated season. Well, they won one more game, and KRCC was the number one team, and they lost a game. So obviously, you can see that the cumulative ranking, KRCC dropped from 1 to 4. That's 3 spots they dropped. And the comment basically says the hurricane named Ramsey came and dumped the riders of KRCC into the Challenger Deep. That's exactly what happened to KRCC.
So let's.
Detroit Titans, on the other hand, went from 2 to 1. So they went up 1. The number of first place votes which Detroit Titans got was 2. Glads got 1 first place vote, and KRCC got 1 first place vote. That pretty much explains the rankings, and then we can just go over it. Stars are number 3.
Yeah, maybe Parthiba, you can zoom in so
Yeah,
that
I
it is more visible.
think Viju, what we want to do is hit upon the ones which changed dramatically, so that we can talk about it. And obviously, want to talk about the leader every episode. So today we have Detroit Titans with their undefeated run. Obviously they have got the average first place from all the analysts, so they top the chart along with Gladiators and Indus following them in 2 and 3. But I think the biggest loss is KRCC. They've dropped from being number 1 to now being number 4, thanks to Mohammad Ramzi.
The Ramsey Hurricane. That's thanks to the Ramsey Hurricane, they dropped 3 spots. But Parthav, now this is where it gets interesting. Dynamites, all right. Take a look at Dynamites. They are the single biggest dropper. They dropped 5 spots. Nobody dropped as much as Dynamites. But
Right.
the reason for the Dynamite loss is, if you go and look at the KK, pull up the KK tab. You can see Dynamites. KK had ranked them 17 is the current ranking. Last week was 14. So he dropped them 3 spots. All right. They lost to Bulls. That's a fair enough. That is a fair enough thing. Let's go to Parthav. This is where I don't understand it. He had them at 9 and he dropped them to 19. Okay. I think Vijay Shanmugam deserves an explanation as to how you could have dropped them 10 spots for losing to the Bulls.
But as I said, to my defense, actually, I was thinking with the defeat that they had to Raptors, I was thinking they were on a high. I mean, typically Dynamites, you would guess they would not beat Raptors, right? But since they beat them, they deserve that ranking. But if it wasn't that case, they would have been in the mid, 14, 15s either way. But I had given them that top ranking because I saw them like, that was a big win. But yeah, to be honest, now that I think of it, maybe it was too harsh.
Okay,
But
that's where I was going with this. That this is a little too harsh to drop them 10 spots for losing to the Bulls. Now, if they had lost to Hunkars or Cover Drive Cricket Club, you dropping them 10 spots, I can live with that. But to Bulls and then drop 10 spots, all right. But anyway, that I think people get the ideas. We can go back to the master.
Yep. So I think then we can talk about the other big shifts. FCC Agni, they dropped.
Other thing that should surprise us. Raptor is still sitting on 18. I think they however has got 1 point up, 1 rank up without playing. It is just because somebody might have pushed from the up order. But Raptor sitting on 18, they should be thinking about it.
Yep. I think there are a few teams that should be thinking about it, like Fighters. They have been good this season.
Gaba Bhai, they are not at 18. They are at
Sorry, my
actual
bad. I think
ranking
they
is
are
number
they are
15.
into 16,
16 now.
15, 16
Yeah.
rank.
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
The other shock, even some of the teams like FCC Agni, they dropped three places. With that huge defeat, which Glad had 100 for one, they beat them by 9 wickets. So that was a big defeat. Local boys again, they lost against Motor City, a game that they should win because
But
they were.
then look at Motor City. They went up 3 spots.
Yep. So it was swap. Basically, they swap positions essentially.
Yeah. So that
The rest,
that pretty much.
yeah, I think the rest of the bottom of the teams, I think they are going to move amongst each
Okay.
other. I think.
So let me ask you a hypothetical question. CDCC versus Royal Hunkards. Who wins that game? It's
CDC.
38 versus 38. CDCC. Both of them are ranked number
That will
38.
be a game to actually go and see.
That
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
the
So,
showcase game of the week.
I'm sure. But I
no,
think
but what I'm, who would you pick between those two
I would
teams?
I would pick. I haven't played both of them. I have umpired Royal Hunkars, so I would pick Royal Hunkars just on that basis because I've seen a little bit of them, but I have no clue. I think CDCC. I mean, you guys have played CDCC. What do you guys think about them?
I mean, I didn't think they were that bad, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I would pick CDCC to beat Royal Hunkars.
Okay. Yeah, there are
Though
some.
not though not royally, a close game.
Yeah.
You
I'm
get the point, right?
surprised that Legends is above GLCC, but I don't know. I mean, it's marginal, but still, I mean, it's GLCC dropped one place just by being idle.
Well, yeah, by being idle,
Idle
they
full stop.
lost one. Yeah, the problem is, who is this? Somebody went up, right? That's probably the reason.
Pokeries went up, I guess.
All right, let's see whether Gabaji you can hold on to your number one spot next week, or
Yeah,
will
one question to all of you. Let's go scroll down a little bit. I always ask similar question, but
Ready.
now look at it from rank 15 because we have duplicates. Some of 8 numbers are duplicate, and also look from the rank 15 till rank maybe 20.
Yeah.
rank,
Because
or are you talking about the?
Yeah,
current
no, no.
current week rank.
Current week rank, starting with fighters.
Yeah, starting with I would say start with fighters. So from here, which team do you think will surely make it to the playoff?
Strikers?
Ooh.
From fighter to let's go till Sterling striker.
Yeah, so
Because
strikers.
all are playoff. I think all are into contention. But pick one team you're sure about that they will make it to the playoff.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah, please.
Pick Raptors.
Yeah, I again, Raptor. How about
Because
you?
fighters have two ties, right? Fighters have two ties. When it
Yeah.
comes to the same points, fighters are not going to make it because they have lesser number of wins.
Mhm.
Right? Dynamites after that, Sterling Strikers loss and the last week Bulls battering. I don't think they will have the same confidence going into the rest of it.
And if
I
you
think
see
for
right,
me,
United, Raptor, Dynamite, FCC, and Sterling Striker, 4 teams sitting there from the pool C. So definitely two might make it.
Mm-hmm. And see, FCC has too many tight games to come up, right? One with Bulls, one with Sterling Strikers, one with United Raptors, and the most that they can afford to lose is 2 games out of the rest 5 games.
Mhm.
It'll make it very interesting.
All right.
all right, let's go to our predictions. And I think,
You'll have to share it, Partha.
I'm bringing it up.
Now we have started making that fancy PPT, right?
That's
Yeah.
Satya's business.
That was Satya's job, right?
Yeah, if Satya is not joining, we can take it up. It's not a big thing.
Yeah. I mean, do you know how to do it?
It's just a PPT, right?
Yeah, it's just the animation.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do it.
I'll talk to
yeah,
Satya.
yeah.
If
Okay.
he's not joining.
In fact, we
He's
can
not
make it
joining. He's not joining till the end of the month. He's joining only
Yeah,
next
I
month.
will take it up. I will get that whatever the format he has, and I'll update it from next week.
He
Okay.
might not even have it on his laptop. I don't think he brought his laptop. But anyway,
All right. This is the right week, right?
yeah. Hmm.
Yes.
The right tab, right? Yeah. All
So
right.
Parthi, we don't want to talk about the standing. Come on, you can't skip that.
Wait. Yes. I can't derive you
So
of that.
let's talk about the person who is running at the very end.
Oh wow, that's rubbing it in. Huh?
yeah, the guy who's running it last is in India. Not me. He's visiting India.
Oh
He,
man.
yeah,
Okay.
he's visiting India and he's visiting the last place too.
Uh,
So
I thought it was you with you.
119, 118, and 118. Okay, the competition is really starting to heat up. I think a couple of other, we are still awaiting these few games. But I think apart from strikers and legends, no, and that also we had, I think, everyone on the same page.
Parthiv, I have a feeling last week, I do not know when this KK guy entered his predictions. Okay, is there a way for you guys to go and track it down?
Yeah,
Because
we can.
Yeah,
I
you
have a
can.
feeling, I have a feeling he entered it a little late. All right.
I'll tell you exactly when I entered it. It was around 8:15 in the morning on Saturday. We did not have the show there, so there was no pressure to fill it, and I completely forgot on Friday.
So I saw it on Friday. He had not picked
Yeah,
me
I didn't enter it on Friday. Friday it was a late night, and on Saturday morning is when I entered it.
And so, Parthiv, I was thinking, you know what? Let's keep quiet. Let's keep quiet and let's see what happens.
See,
So you should have taken a screenshot at 8:59 before the game started, and you would have used that.
Okay.
All
But
right.
anyway,
We'll make sure that
Yeah. I think Parag is also on call. Parag, if you wanna switch on your camera,
Yes, we are doing predictions,
And
guys. I would
you
love
can
to hear.
you can also do the prediction if you guys want to.
Yeah.
Hey, hi
You
Parag.
guys see my screen, right?
Akash, I think you can also switch on your camera and help us with the prediction. Your prediction. You were just here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think let's go, Parthiv.
Let's go with that. Yeah, so Thunderbolt Rising Stars again, a good game because both teams are relatively at the bottom of the team, and as you can see from the predictions, it's 3-2 Thunderbolts. Parag bhai, what do you say? Thunderbolts.
I think it's going to be Thunderbolts as far as I see in their
Did you change this one? I saw you were Rising Star in the beginning.
I was Rising Stars, but then I thought about it and I said Parthiv is on Rising Stars and Satya is on Rising Stars. So let me take the others. I mean, personally, I think Thunderbolts have the better team. It's a question of producing the results. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I just went ahead with the Thunderbolts because they are playing together a lot of tournament. They have a bonding and they can turn around this kind of game. So that's why
I feel Rising Stars have a couple of good players which can turn it around. We'll see.
Gopal Patel is good. If Gopal Patel clicks, yes, he can take the game away.
Yeah, that left-handed. Yeah.
All right, next game, Troy Hawks and Red Devils. I think everybody's on the Red Devils wagon. Nobody's giving Troy Hawks a chance. 5-0 Red Devils.
No, I somehow have a feeling that Troy Hawks will win this, but just because the points are so close, I'm not going to take a chance.
You can still change.
Oh my God, you can change, man.
It's so close,
generous. We are very generous in these things.
Yeah, especially when we have to order points.
Especially when let you change things after the game has started. For all you know, that's what happened.
Well, I think we are all riding on Ritini's star power. Let's see.
How about you, Parag? Parag, by the way, Parag is the one who regularly submits his prediction as well on our.
I was checking my predictions on phone.
By the way, KK, is there a way to see who the leader there is? Or only Satya can see that?
Satya can, because unless he gives the permission to us, he cannot see it.
Oh, Aakash has joined as well. Aakash, who do you think? Red Devils, Troy Hawks? Oh,
You're on mute, Parag.
You're on mute, my friend.
God
there
damn,
you go.
I'm technologically challenged a little bit. But yeah, Red Devils, couple of my previous GLCC members playing there, so I have my heart with them.
Oh, okay. Parag bhai, what did you say? Sorry, I caught.
Yeah, same Red Devils. Yeah.
Devils? Okay. All right. Next game, Canton Hurricanes and MI Rangers. I think this is a pretty easy one with the last week's performance. What do you guys? Anybody disagree? Canton Hurricanes versus MI Rangers?
They're red hot favorites now.
Yep.
I know MI Rangers did upset Red Devils, but Canton Hurricanes has been doing all the good things now. So let's go with them.
Okay. MCC Miles and Hawks. 5-0 to MCC Miles. Our guests, do you guys agree with us?
Agreed.
MCC Miles. Anybody disagree? Doesn't look like everybody's on
Yeah,
MCC.
MCC Miles.
And this next game is interesting. Although Indus Thunders and KRCC, so 2021 champions versus 2022 champions, but we've all gone on KRCC side. 5-0. That is really unfair. I'm sure Indus Thunders looking at this will be like, we are going to guys show you and make you eat your words. What do the guests think? Aakash, you played both of these teams.
I think they in the Thunders probably are not playing together that much cricket. I think they all. I think majority the top players are focused on a leather ball. It seems so. And on the KRCC side, they have like their core playing consistent together. So I'll pick KRCC as well.
Parag bhai?
Yep, if KRCC comes with the same players, I think they will win. But otherwise, if they will the way they played last week, if they will come up with that kind of strategy, then they may lose it. But I think they have learned from last week, so hopefully they will make it this week.
So our source, our spy, Vamsi, is Manoj Singh back?
Manoj, he may or may not be available for Saturday. But one thing, Chetan is injured. He was already limping when we were playing the Novi Cup. He's injured, and Indus doesn't have the services of Praveen Bangera so far.
No,
Bangera played.
He played the last week.
Yeah,
he played the last week. They're trying to qualify him then.
Yeah. Yeah, the only person who was not sure about is Manoj Singh, whether he's come back.
Mm-hmm. But Indus has good players, but I think at this time KRCC is going to be the favorite.
So basically, it's what 7-0.
7-0.
So I hope we are not going to get this hanging by this thing next week, right?
Reindeer.
I hope we are not going to be the hanging reindeer. I hope.
I won't be surprised. And then
I won't be surprised either. If Indus has what we discussed in the beginning, right? If Indus has the full team, I think it's gonna be a great game.
Yep. All right, Stars Local Boys again. Another 5-0. I think this is pretty one-sided. I think Local Boys lost against a Motor City, a game that they should have won. So by last week's performance, I think it should be easy cakewalk for Stars. Anybody disagree with this? No. So 7-0. And Strikers Pokeries, another game where I think we are split 3-2. Obviously, me being Strikers, I would pick them. But Satya is taking a calculated risk, I think. But
so let me say something here, Parthiv. Last week you picked your opponent against you.
I wasn't playing. Yeah. I wasn't playing against Legends. I was out, so that's why I picked.
Okay, so that's a good reason to state. But you are not the captain anymore, so you can still take that chance, right? But this week,
I got a lot of slack. Why do you pick against us?
Yeah, last week you lost the love from your team, and this week you are going to lose a point.
Well, this is going to be a game, I think, at least from Strikers side, we have to win if we have any chance of getting to the playoffs. I think this is a must-win game. So yeah, we're going to basically play with that kind of energy if it was the last game of the season. So yeah, 3-2. Obviously, Pokeries are heavy favorites here. As you can see, what do the guests feel? Anybody on our side?
I'll go with Parthiv.
I want to be.
That's it.
I will go with
1%. Aakash, how about you?
I want to
Some
be on
change
your
can happen.
side, but the math doesn't allow me to do this. I think it's like, if
Pa-
I have to.
Parthiv, let me tell you something. With friends like Aakash on your side, you don't need enemies, my friend. Let me tell you that.
Vijay, both are gujus, right? They always take the calculation and the paper.
Yes, it's brain versus heart.
Yeah. You remember, right? They always go with the brain. They never go with the heart. That's exactly what we did with the Titans one also.
Okay.
Okay, let's go with the next game. Legends versus Cover Drive. I think this is a 7-0. I can just predict. Legends
Oh, yeah.
too big a team to get anything like the last team. What Cover Drive gave a scare. Hopefully this time there's no scare like Gujarat Lions. Agni versus Hitmen. It's 5-0 Hitmen. Nobody giving poor Ramesh a chance. Anybody on the Agni wagon?
I
Akash.
think because of those additional Bangladeshi players or the additional players that Hitman is getting now, they have got the stronger unit at this point. So
Yep. All right. Glads versus Gujarat Lions. Again, 5-0 Glads. I'm sure Malik will be very disappointed
Yeah,
hearing
more
this.
than Maulik, the ex-Glads player, Ronnie Patel will be more disappointed.
Now, this
You
is a
know,
game I don't know. I mean, if it was for me, I would have been expecting a lot of fireworks, but I don't know. Malik has become a lot more muted now, and I don't think anybody's there on Glads who can spark it. So,
Actually, you'll be surprised, Parthiv, because I think Hardeep Singh is
oh yeah,
leading
I forgot
Glads.
him.
And Hardeep Singh against FCC Agni was all pumped up, and he was giving them lip service, and he was telling them, "Oh, you
Against
guys have
Agni.
to have it." Yeah, against Agni, he was, I saw it on this thing. You
Poor
guys.
guys, I think
Oh,
Agni is the most
he was giving a hard time to the keeper. He was giving a hard time to the umpire. I don't know. He was arguing over scoring and all kinds of things. You get my point?
Ramesh is probably the nicest guys in DCL
Yeah,
around.
yeah. So that's why I was like, oh my goodness, Hardeep is really serious. So I know one thing, Hardeep will be coming up very pumped up, and Paji is one of the biggest
Yes,
warriors we have
it's
on our team.
Paji
So,
versus Malik. If Malik also comes back, it's going to be real
but
fireworks.
Maulik carries four, 5 people only for the sledging in the dugout. So they always come with 16, 17 people. Right, Akash bhai? So 16,
Yeah, no,
17 people will be sitting out there. 4, 5 people only for shouting.
I actually I'm gonna let one. He comes for the extra people because he can win the toss if someone else is.
Yeah, that's true. He gets
I
this whole build up, so he has
yeah,
at least 16 to 7 people to win the toss.
he will kill me if I say
I,
this now.
and now here is the thing, Akash. Paji will be watching this show, and he'll be up for the task, and he'll be, he will not let Maulik steal the toss like that.
So yeah, it should be a close game. It shouldn't be like the 5-0 we predicted. What do you guys feel? Are you on Glads or Lions? Anybody on the Lions wagon?
I did select the
I
Gujarat
like
Lions in my
Oh, you are
prediction.
Lions fan? Oh, nice. How about Akash?
me too. I actually if the full unit is not there, right? That's the caveat. If the full unit is not there, then Gujarat Lions playing together all everywhere. They will have, but again, they are too dependent on Maulik and Ronak
Right.
also. So
Yeah, I had the same feeling. Glads have a little more firepower to
yeah,
get past Lions. Well, at least Lions, Parag, you have one vote from Parag, so don't get too disappointed. All right,
for
next.
for me, if they're chasing, I think if the Gujarat Lions is chasing, then they know how to bat and they don't have to score runs. Then I think Lions. But if they're betting first, there is no chance for them.
Okay, interesting. Maybe more like if there he is listening, maybe winning
Akash
the
have confused. You have confused Maulik.
Malik was
Maulik
thinking.
was thinking he wanted to bat.
Malik will
I
never
know,
win the
I
toss
know.
and he like to bat ball first.
I know. I think they don't have like firepower to back it up either. But if they can get some wickets early and put a pressure on Glads,
Hmm. Right. Let's see. Yeah, I agree. I think that's the mantra which we also followed. I think Glad's a little stiff in the morning. That's when you want to get them first.
Yeah, and then
So both times we won chasing. So no, actually we won first time chasing and then first time defending. But both times it was getting them in when they were not ready.
and both times was in playoff, right?
No. This yeah,
Oh,
once in playoff and then once the first game of the season. All right, Stingers Spartans. Stingers 5-0. I think Stingers have been vastly improved team. I think this topic we haven't discussed, but this year's vastly improved team. I think Stingers is definitely a
So
good
Stingers
contender.
have only won 2 games, I think, and they won against GLCC and they won against Raptor.
But they've come close. They've come so close to so
But
many
they
games.
you see, right, they are beating the table topper, one of the best team in the league, and they are not able to defeat the same level team, or I
Yeah,
would say
equal teams. They haven't somehow
less
they struggle.
competitive team.
Yes,
I
Akash,
think
what do you have
Parag.
to say? I'm sure you have something to say.
No, it's a good team. I am also surprised that they haven't beaten any like middle ranked teams, because
Hmm.
they have a
Akash,
decent bowling. Yeah, you cannot go ahead.
yeah, Akash, how can they
What do you
how
think?
can they defeat anybody? How can they defeat anybody when Parthiv keeps stealing their players before the season
I
starts?
was I was about to mention that.
I have, to be honest, I have an eye on one other player.
I was about to mention it because I know they almost beat us last year as well, with that left arm bowler.
Yeah, yeah. So Parag bhai, do you disagree with anyone? Stingers.
No, I think it's straight. I think Strangers is going to make it.
Okay.
I mean, Stingers lost 5 games and Spartans lost 7 games. So, Stingers
Yep.
probably has more chance of winning this game. But this will be one other showcased game of the week.
Yeah. All right. Raptors, SLCC, Guardians. We've all gone with Raptors, even though Raptors has been failing lately. They've been. I mean, if one other game they slip, they're out of the playoffs. They are almost at that point. But this game, I think we've all gone with Raptors. You
Yeah.
guys agree? Are
Yep,
sure?
I agree.
Yes.
Agree.
Hey, Bulls versus FCC. Again, 5-0 Bulls. No, nobody's giving Nishant a chance. No FCC voters.
I
Wow.
know, man. I have to go with
And
FCC. God damn.
Sujin is injured in the Novi Cup finals. And without Sujin, I have a feeling that it will be difficult for FCC.
Yeah,
But
and
it is
Bulls
very
are on the
important
roll.
game for FCC.
Yeah,
If
and
they
Bulls are
want
on
to
the
run
roll. I
for the
think
playoff, this is
hard.
the game they have to win.
Yeah,
Is Amit, and Pradeep
Amit
is
Gowda.
there, right?
But I
Yes.
think the Bulls have been playing as a unit. You can see, I think some of those guys also have been playing that T90, that Kerala Blasters tournament with together, and you can see they're gelling really well as a team. So it's all showing off on the Bulls as well as in that tournament as well. All right, we'll skip Titans and GLCC for now. We'll come back to it. Let's go to Dhairya Dynamites. I think it's a clear 5-0 or even 7-0. I can predict everybody
Yeah.
on Dynamite's wagon. And I can assure you with this win, I don't think there's going to be significant movement on Dynamite. So I'm just clearing it up that they're not going to move too much even after this.
Parthiv bhai, what if they lose? You will count them on
Oh, yeah.
39, or where
If
they
they
will
lose,
stand on your ranking?
they
Another
might,
10
I might
points
not even
down?
give them, if they lose, I might not even give them a rank.
If they lose, they might end up on Parthiv's this thing at number 40.
All right, but I highly doubt it. I know Vijay is not going to let it
But
slip.
Dharia bowling, surprisingly, Dharia bowling has improved a lot. They have 5 good bowlers.
Yep. I mean, Dynamite, as long as Murugan is showing up and playing, I think he should be good. Last week was I would guess it's a abnormal situation where he failed with bat
So,
and ball.
so if Dharia can create an upset, they can create with their bowl. They can get some quick wickets.
Hmm. All right. With that, we come to the showcase game of the week, which is Detroit Titans and GLCC. We have Parag, a spokesperson from Titans, and then we have GLCC uh, Captain Aakash as well. So first of all, thank you guys for joining, and thank you for helping us with the prediction as well. So as you can see here, we are pretty split, and you can see who are your friends and who are your enemies right here. But we have 3-2 with GLCC, marginally ahead. GLCC, but generally we want to ask you a bunch of questions. We'll all take rounds. We'll all ask you questions, and be as candid as possible. Obviously you don't want to reveal your cards, but let us know the minute details as much as we can. All right. With that, let's go with the question. Anybody want to start, or should I? I generally start, but I'll go with what I have. So I'm going to ask Parag. I'm going to steal. I think the question which everybody has. You coming back to Titans has flipped their performance completely. Last year it was a different Titans altogether. This year you guys are unbeaten. You are topping the charts, bowling charts, and by a margin, not even close. Like I think it's 4 or 5 wickets between you and the next person. So is that the secret sauce for Titans to beat GLCC?
Titans, if you see, all are close friends. More than friends, we are family, if you see. Anywhere we go, even if you find us in any club, you'll definitely find 6, 7 of our folks in that club partying together.
Okay.
So more than I think individual performances, what we do is we as a team we support each other. There are a lot of mistakes we do, though I'm getting a lot of wickets, but I'll definitely tell you that sometimes what wickets I got is basically on very loose balls. So I'm not at my full strength, but yeah, it's getting lucky that I'm getting some wickets without on bad balls too. So yeah, it's all going as a team efforts. Everybody's supporting. We have some new members in Titans. Those members are basically they don't care who is the opponent. They don't care what kind of star player they have. They come in for bat. They bat the way they want to, and similarly with the fielding or the bowling. So that is a good addition for us in our senior whatever senior members we have in team.
Awesome. Now, question for Akash: When are you dropping Vamsi KK from your team? From your 11?
Yeah, you stole my question. You stole my question. I was going to ask the same question.
That's a tough one, but since last year I've seen him hitting.
What will it take? What will it take to drop?
13 players availability.
Okay, so that is it. As soon as there's 13...
Aakash, let me illuminate you. He has 20 runs in 7 innings. His average is 3.33. You just come on, man. I can come and walk into GLCC and score 3.33.
Well, to his credit, he's been getting some wickets as well. So you need to give
But
that.
you didn't take him as a bowler. You got plenty of bowlers. You took him as a batsman, and this guy is now turning into a bowler.
All right, that was just a question, just in jest. But question to you is that you've been, as Parag has been outstanding for Titans. You've been holding the fort, or you've been holding the flag for GLCC. GLCC is not there yet. If you take out your own performance, your batting and your bowling, GLCC starts to look very ordinary. What is it that as as a captain that you're doing to kind of get performances from your other team members to contribute?
It's we have to play together more. I think we haven't been playing together more together. I think me playing with KK, Hemant, and Tejas in a Noai Cup actually helped me as well as a captain. And once we I'm looking forward to the next 3 games. I think this year also we have break when we go we're starting to play in the playoff, and I always hate that. And this year again the same thing. Every other week we'll be playing before playing the playoff. But at least we'll be playing top ranked teams. So hopefully, I'm hoping we'll get a full team, have everyone playing together as a unit. When you have everyone coming from a different team and gelling together is always tough. It takes a season or two to play together. and know each and everyone's role. I'm hoping this is the year. Everyone knows their role. They click together. They play together as a team. Last year was like, again, the same thing. It was the first season having all my Karnataka Eagle boys playing with us, but this year is the second year. So I'm hoping they know their roles. I will try to communicate in the words, and hopefully they get chance to they have chance to do it in the field as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So one thing that I wanted to ask, is age also catching up with GLCC? Just like
Yes.
how Brownstown, kind of had that same situation where you had a lot more veterans as compared to young blood and young talent. Is that a problem in GLCC right now?
Yeah, that was a problem since last couple of years, right? That's when our core kind of depleted. Because when like before we have like 7 8 core members playing almost 8 to 10 games over the season, but now if you see right now, me and Samish Bhai and probably KK played all the majority of the games. Every other guy is 3 4 3 4 3 4. Actually, last season against Stingers, I had a couple of my relatives came into town. I have to register them and play in a playing 11.
Well,
so
that's
it's uh it's a yeah, the core is we have to develop a core, right? I think these newer guys need to take a responsibility and become a core member, play more. But cricket is being offered everywhere in Michigan right now, so that's tough. I'm hoping the next year's change in the pool system may help.
mm, okay. All right. Anybody else want to go with their questions? Kabaji, KK, Viju.
I mean, I'm not going to ask any questions, especially after the one which you asked, Parthiv. But to be honest, this year, except for that one game where we lost to Stingers, the rest of the games have been pretty competitive. I mean, GLCC as a unit, we made sure that the games come pretty close. But almost in all the points, all the games we won with bonus. In the first game with Detroit Bulls, we didn't get the win. Right, it was a close game. If we had taken that catch of Gino when there were 10 runs left, we would have won that game as well. Singers is the only game that I would say was a washout, from performance standpoint on GLCC. It does not, I would say that one game should not impact on where we stand as a unit. At least this year I played, and I know people are pretty cool about, irrespective of you win or lose, the kind of support is the same. So runs wise, yes, I've been having a little pressure. I mentioned in our group as well. But, in the last 1 or 2 weeks, we've been playing continuously, which that also means is that, yes, now once you get into playing so many games, you get into the groove of playing games, and that pressure goes off, that you're not scoring runs, which in turn hopefully turns into some runs against Gabavai's team this weekend and give us that one extra point.
Does that mean that the team has been declared?
I think Aakash mentioned it in one of the games that over the past 17 or 18 games, there was only one game where he had to select playing 12. All the other games, you get a maximum of 12.
So I think that arises my question, Aakash, being a captain, and I think you have a pool of 25. If I'm not wrong, you have all 25 people filled in, right, in the roster.
Yeah.
So how hard it is, not able to get the playing 11 and running after each and every player. Isn't it the commitment is an issue at the first place? And again, I'm not sure about category of star and regular player, but having too many stars where you are not getting the availability, isn't at the first place GLCC should have planned to get some regular players who can contribute. Like I know you did fabulous job getting KK in, who is always available for the 12 games. But similar to the KK kind of commitment, you should have got 3-4 more players and let your some of the player who is not giving you availability. Because it's isn't it challenging? It's my question. And why GLCC did not plan? I think going back to the Parthiv question, getting into new people who are more, even though they are not maybe not so great players, but they are committed to the 12 games or 10 games at least.
We I think when KK and all the Karnataka Eagle boys joined, they always planned. It's just the circumstances this year. I think for their personal reasons they were not able to play, but I think going forward they will be available for most of the games, and it's just like this year's personal reasons for a lot of people. And yeah, probably where we were trying to shooting for the stars, we should have gotten some like players who were available. But again, they're not like, if the same thing happened to if these guys playing 12 games and if you don't pick them into a playoff 11, then you cannot um, you cannot retain them for the next year, right? So you have to balance out over there. Like, if someone is playing, then I have to make a commitment for them to to have to pick him in a playing 11 in a playoff. If he's doing that much hard work for entire season and doesn't get to play into a playoff, then there's no, even he feels, and I think you won't be able to retain him for next year. So that's why I think we try to finish it out the season the best way we can, and pick our best 11 over the in the playoff.
Yeah. Well, I think last game also I mentioned the same thing. Last time you did the same strategy, right? Whatever you were just explaining, you had
Yeah,
player here and there, and then you got a very good team on the playoff, but still it could not make it, right? Because people did not
yeah,
know their role. People did not play enough as a team.
cricket
At the same
together.
time, Hawks, if you, I'm just trying to, it may not be the reason, but at the same time, Hawks consistently playing with those 14, 15 people, giving enough opportunity, they were knowing at least their role better.
No, no, that was exactly the reason we didn't play together, and no one knows. Even I was the captain the first time, and when I'm the batting going all the time, I don't know what's going on into the like in your dugout. And that was my fault too. But again, not playing together, it kind of, like, for me, it's a 50 or 70% of the game right there. If you play together, each and everyone knows role, what they have to do, and they have a clear mindset. What's their role in batting, what's how they have to bowl, not everything. If you play together, then it's pretty clear picture, and there's no kind of captain roles become much easier when everyone knows their role. And I think that was the reason, and I'm hoping this is the second season we playing together. That will solve those problems. I
I
think that
mean,
won't be the reason for us losing. I'm hoping that.
if I can add something, as I've seen something from close quarters last year, the playoff was on Saturday, and on Thursday night, uh, Tejas was in the hospital because they were having a baby, and because after the delivery, I was there after 2 hours because our Mr. Tejas was hungry that day. But both of us were
That
slated to miss that week's playoffs, but he couldn't make it. But he at least pushed me to play our playoff where I was playing for FCC. So some
I
things
forget about
cannot
that.
be avoided. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this year, those things happened early in the season with both Tejas and Hemant not being able to play for various reasons, and they're fully committed to playing playoffs because we three have a group in the separate group where we discuss. So
Yes, bro.
they both are fully committed for playoffs.
Okay, I'm not asking any specific question for this game because I know we are playing together. So I will leave it up to Viju Bhai for.
Not together, but it's against each other.
Hmm?
You forgot.
Same thing, same thing.
Yeah.
Akash, I think this is something which we talked on the show last week, or maybe not last week, 2 weeks ago, because last week we didn't have a show. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we talked about it, that GLCC's record is good, but the fear factor is missing. And before, when we played GLCC, I'm telling you, from 2003 onwards, even before we stepped into the field, we have lost the game. This is when I was playing for Lansing, because we had GLCC at that level, and we felt, oh my God, this is a sure loss. We don't know how we are going to win this game. We have to play lights out. Everything has to go right. So it's like a mind block was already there. There was a fear factor. They had excellent players, and they somehow made all the right decisions. Now that fear factor is missing. uh, could be for any number of reasons. One of the could be the age factor, which obviously reduces the abilities and things like that. But let me ask you this: as a skipper, how are you looking to sharpen that image, or what are you trying to do so that the edge doesn't go off? Because a lot of it is mind games, right? I mean, cricket, or any sport for that matter of fact. Um, it's what goes on between the years makes a lot of difference. As a bowler, you try to outthink the batsman. As a batsman, you're trying to outthink the bowler. There's a reason why some people are better than other people. A lot depends on this thing. So answer that question as to what's missing in GLCC. What do you think has been going down, and how can you improve that?
The fear factor, I think, is like pretty loosely used term right now, because now, like, see how many cricket, like, before, if I have to play Gladiators team, like, again, we don't get the chance to play every year against you guys. Like, we want to play the like, since last 5 years game. But now, with every player, you, like, every top bowlers, like, well, amount of cricket we have around in the Detroit, right? We play each other almost at least twice a year. I think that's where a lot of fear for the, like, big ticket player goes away a little bit. I think because you know them, and with the video on the streaming available, you get to, like, you get to see and analyze them before the game. That also helps. But again, yeah, I see your point. I think there, like, and that comes with the talent, right? If you don't have to present that talent, you cannot indulge that fear factor on the opponent. But I think we haven't been playing clean cricket. We haven't been, like, we are loose here and there, but we haven't have the clinical like template yet, and that's what we like, in next 3 games we have to figure it out. What's the clinical template? What, like, we haven't been playing ruthless cricket yet. We And I'm hoping, like, having the likes of Hemant, Navpreet Bhai, and they can help.
Yeah, I agree that ruthless portion of it, because that was one thing GLCC was very good at, was the ruthless playing ruthless cricket. But do you think it has something to do with the hunger which goes with it? Because I'll tell you what, this is my association with Samish goes long, long time back, and so my thinking, Samish and company used to go out and scout other teams when they are not playing. Samish used to come umpiring because he wants to see what the other team does, what is their strengths, what is their weaknesses. You probably are not having that right now, because that same level of hunger might not be there. Do you think that could be one of the problems?
I agree. I think that could be one of the reason. I think, yeah, I don't have that hunger too. And Samir, like, I cannot compete with Samish by the way he prepares for the game, but his commitment is still there. Uh, but again, I think, yeah, I can imagine Samish Bhai, when he steps in the field, he doesn't want to lose any game. And I think, on the other hand, I'm a little loose on that side.
Okay. What's the deal with Ashraf?
Ashraf,
He's not been.
Ashraf,
I've not been seeing much of him. That's why I was
no,
asking that question.
Ashraf Bhai had a surgery, so that's the reason I think he had one big surgery this year, but and he cannot run, so
Okay.
I think this year he might not play, but he next year, probably, once he gets enough practice under his belt, then he will try to play. But whenever like I'm missing players, I call him. Are you?
Okay.
Okay, do you want to play? Do you want to play?
Okay. Well, by the way, Aakash, congrats on the Novi Cup performance. It was a fabulous performance. It was lights
Thank you.
out. I think a lot of people observed it. So hopefully that performance comes out against Titans too, so that we have picked GLCC, so that we can see that coming out. But whatever it is, I'm warning you up front. That man who's to my right, to your left, probably. Watch out for his bowling. So let's not give him too many wickets. I forgot to warn Gino and company, but and they gave him too many wickets. But having said that, is your approach different from Samesh's approach? Let me ask you that, because Samesh was the GLCC skipper for a long time. Now you have taken over. Do you feel that there is a difference in approaches?
He's still a skipper. He's always in my ears. So it's he hasn't lost that voice yet. And I have half of I haven't get everything out of him yet, but I'm still learning from him. But again, I won't be able to create that hunger. That's just not me, right? That's the personality.
Okay. By the way, I wanted to tell you this 25-man roster, 38 teams in DCL are fools, because last week I found out that you can beat the system because our friends from Sterling Strikers beat the system. All you have to do is, even if you have 25 players, just and Parthiv said that was not possible, but we found out there was 25 players on Sterling Strikers, and they didn't have 11 players for that game. They just removed one player and added one other player. And now, who cares? So really, the 25-man roster is fool's gold, if you ask me. I had to throw it out because the 38 other teams are fools to think about that there is a 25-man roster limit.
It's for a time. I think it's like, on the cricket clubs for a moment, right? If you request to remove them, you can remove them. I think we have two committee members on the call. So I requested, but my request hasn't been processed yet. Because I have one player kind of moved back to India. One player was just in a town for a game. So I want to remove those two players.
Okay. Well,
it's not about removing the player. If a captain says, hey, I don't need this guy for the rest of the season, you are invalidating that player for the rest of the season.
Yeah, but you can bring in a new player. So, technically speaking,
that's right. You can bring in. You can bring in a new player.
Sterling Strikers have played 26 players, whereas everybody else has played 25 or lesser than 25 players.
I mean, that was clear from day one that,
No, it was not clear. If the first show, if you watch, Parthiv said that is impossible.
Parthiv doesn't remember that.
My memory is very bad, so don't.
Let me tell you something, Viju. Parthiv was not in the first captain's meeting. So
he was not there at the first captain's
meeting. I think that's a loophole which I feel we basically forgot to close.
If he was not there in the first captain's meeting, then how is he sending out the meeting minutes?
He's still the communication POC.
He's our communication guy. We provide him all the input. So
I'm just writing it up. The notes were sent to me.
Okay.
Yeah. But think about it, right?
I think next year, basically make sure it doesn't happen.
So there was a point written that if a player already played a game, if you want to remove him, you have to send an email request to committee. See, why would a captain send a request to committee, if the roster limit is only 25, right? Why would he remove it? He'll just let it go because, he has reached his limit. Because there is an option to remove, that's why that particular point was clearly mentioned that if you want to remove someone, send an email. But after removing, if you try to play that player, all the 5 points are being awarded to the opposition.
I know, but if I remove a player, I'm not planning to play him ever again.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
that player will not come back and play for you next year.
There are a lot of smart people in DCL who can take advantage of this.
Hey, by the way, Parag, let me ask you this: fantastic season so far. You have the difference between last year to this year, between Titans sitting at 7-0 versus last year they were having a losing record somewhere at the middle of the season. I mean, Gaba was scratching his head to figure out what was going on. So let me ask you this: what is the secret for Parag Karwade being so successful? Every match, it's like you're picking 4 wickets, 5 wickets. It's like an opposition has to plan around you. What's going on?
I think I'm
What's
just
the
getting
reason?
lucky. I'm just getting lucky with my age. Frankly speaking, as I said earlier as well, that I'm not 100% fit. I am bowling to my strength, what I used to. My pace is reduced. But I'm bowling the way, I mean, the line and length, I'm still trying to match that. And based on that, if I get wickets, it's happening with the age. Nothing, no other magic is happening.
I had one observation, which is sorry I forgot to mention. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So this was for Gabaji and both Parag. I mean, you guys have everybody is fighting for that 25, more than 25. You guys have just 19 players. So looks like that is the secret strategy for being successful is like get committed players. What do you guys? Is that how you guys are picking players?
Yeah. Yeah. Gavaji, you're on mute.
Gabaji, yeah, you're on mute.
Yeah, that is exactly I was mentioning, Akash. As a captain, I wanted to deal with the more committed player rather than running around with the players. So we are having a limited roster for, I think, even 18, 19 people. One is live streaming. So we have the least number of people that has been added across all the 39 teams, and we always get a good availability, good committed players, and everybody knows their role well. And that is where, as Parag was mentioning, right? We are playing together from very long time. Most of us we are playing together for a very long time. We are family friends. We meet even though there is no cricket. We meet 2-3 times in a week. We buzz around and everything. So that shows on the ground, and we 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 just want to give enough opportunity to those selective peoples, enough games, so that it will help us to get into the playoff, and then select playing 12 rather than 6-7 people or 8 people just playing 3-4 games and showing up on the playoff. And we never worked on that strategy.
And we have seen that. I think Parthi, you might remember the Raptors team when we built for one season. We had every individual was star. So we were
Right.
like, if somebody is not giving availability, Parthi used to be happy. Okay, I'm super happy. You can go with it.
Yeah, that's the problem with having too many stars. Like you don't know how to say no to anyone, right?
Right.
So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised that you guys have so many committed players. I mean, yes, I guess you can start with that strategy, but to be honest, you guys are lucky that you have so much dedicated and committed players because every
And a
captain,
talented player.
yeah,
Like
every
there is committed player everywhere who wants to play cricket, but they're not enough talented to make it into
yeah,
top tier team,
they
right?
are lucky that they've got both mix of both
Yeah, they
talent
got like
and
yeah, they got
players. So
yeah.
you're lucky captain, Gabaji.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
Gaba, are you telling me you guys have lesser players than Pokeries? Pokeries usually always have a small roster.
As far as my last time, we added just one person last week. So based on my last week observation for throughout the 3019, we are having the least number of players. I'm not sure what at this
Yeah,
point.
today, as of today, I'm just looking at it. Local boys beats you guys. Local boys has 18. You guys have 19.
Okay.
But yeah,
And how many does Pokeries have?
Pokris has 22.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, Parag, I mean, you said you guys are family and things like that, and uh, explain this to me. Last year there was a guy on your team who was also family, and Gaba is already smiling. He knows where I'm going with it. He was
There's
also
always
family.
family and then there's not family.
he was also family, and he was also drinking 3 times a day, a week, or whatever it is, day, probably even a day, or whatever it is. And you guys were all hanging out together. And the next thing I know, the season rolls around, and I see him on the champions team. What happened here? Explain to me what happened here.
I think you have already got that answer from Gabaji in one of the show. But yeah, I think it's personal choice for sure. Maybe he has some commitments, early commitments, maybe from last year that he wanted to play with KRCC. Till last day when he told us that okay, I'm not going to play with this team. We were not happy basically because yes, as you said, we are family and we never wanted to happen such way. But yeah, maybe there were some commitments or some promises happened last year that next year I'll play with you or some other thing. And again, it's personal choice. He also wanted to get DCL Cup in his hand, so it's personal choice. It happens.
Okay. Well, we ask all tough questions. So, but let me tell you something. That also tells me, there's these in the NFL contracts. And this is a personal advice for you. In NFL contracts, like you have a star running back, Saquon Barkley. I don't know if you heard of him. He's the New York Giants. This thing. He wants big money. All right, but the team doesn't want to pay him big money. So he's threatening. You know what? I need the money, otherwise I'm not signing the contract. I'm ready to sit out the season. All I know is, Parag, with the kind of season which you are having, you need to tell Gabaji, Gaba, biryani every week. After the game, biryani has to be provided, Otherwise, next season, I might do what happened just last year. You might see me signing the dotted ink on some other team. All right. But anyway, congrats on a fantastic season so far. All this was just joke around and make light of things, kind of a thing. But fabulous season, and all the best for this week's game. Again, you've been carrying the team so far. As I told, you were not here, but I said Titans need to be changed to Karwades because they've been having that good a season. Already, we know that the Titan has already gone and disappeared in the bottom of the ocean. So Karwades might be a good way to have a new team out there. But fantastic season so far. I hope you'll keep up the good job, and best of luck in winning the Best Bowler Award. It goes to the highest wicket taker. And you're leading by a bunch.
Yep. Thank you, Viju. Let's see how it goes. It's still more than half season is still there, I think. Yes.
And same thing. Congrats to Aakash, and I wish him also the very best going ahead.
Yep. I think he's had some spotty connection. He's in and out. Yeah, he's back. All right, Aakash, we were just wrapping up. So, thank you again, both Parag and Aakash, for joining us. Hopefully you guys have a cracker of a game and keep the showcase game of the week, the tag, alive, and have a great game for both of you guys. We'll be watching, and for all our audience, thank you for watching. We went a little bit over the show, but I hope you guys had fun. So until next time, next Thursday, good night everyone, take care.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.